Receiving gift has always been one of the best feelings ever. There's just something about unwrapping a present and not knowing what's inside that feels so exciting. I love the whole process of tearing off the wrapping paper, shaking the box a little, and trying to guess what's hidden inside before I finally see it for real. It's such a pure kind of happiness. But to be honest, I rarely get that feeling anymore, especially from my own family. The last gift I received that I can actually remember was probably when I was still a kid. I can't even recall exactly what it was. It could be a toy, maybe some clothes. The point is, it's all blur now. These days, on birthdays, I usually get my birthday money transferred to my phone. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, there's a cake too, which I'm honestly not complaining about, especially in this economy where getting anything extra already feels like a blessing. Still, I miss that feeling of unwrapping a gift, the real unboxing experience where there is a layer of surprise and thoughtfulness to it. A few months before Eid, during one of our regular family gatherings, I suddenly came up with an idea. We were just sitting around chatting when it hit me. What if we made our next Eid gathering a little more special by doing an anonymous gift exchange? I suggested it casually, not really expecting much, but my aunt immediately lit up and said that it sounded like such a nice activity to do on Eid morning. It didn't take long for the rest of the family to jump on board with the idea too. Everyone seemed excited about it. That night, while everyone was still hanging out, I asked my cousin to help me set up the gift exchange system. She grabbed a few pieces of paper and wrote down everyone's name, one per slip. Then we folded the papers up and tossed them into a container. We all sat around in a circle, taking turns picking a folded paper and secretly checking who we got. The rule was simple. You couldn't tell anyone whose name you pick, and on Eid morning, you would give that person a gift. To make it more interesting and to make it sure it stayed affordable for everyone, we also set a very specific rule. The budget for the gift had to be exactly 25k rupiah. Not less, not more. It wasn't about the value of the gift, but more about the thoughtfulness behind it. I thought it was the perfect way to make sure the activity stayed light and fun without anyone feeling pressured to spend too much. After that night, we all went back to our own routines, but the gift exchange idea stayed in the back of everyone's mind. A few days before Eid, some family members had already gotten their gifts prepared long in advance. You could tell who the organized ones were. They had their gifts already wrapped up nicely, complete with ribbons and cute wrapping. Meanwhile, there were others, especially the elderly ones like my uncles and aunts, who clearly struggled a bit more. It wasn't really because they were too busy. It was mostly because they kept forgetting who their assigned name were to give the gift to. Thankfully, on the night before Eid, everyone managed to pull it together. Last-minute shopping trips were made, frantic wrapping session happened in secret, and somehow, by the end of the night, every gift was ready and sitting neatly on the living room table. Seeing that pile of presents made me so happy. It wasn't even about the gifts themselves, it was just nice knowing that everyone actually made the effort to participate. Then came the morning of Eid. After the usual routine of greeting each other, eating until we were too full to move, and taking a bunch of family photos, it was finally time for the part I had been most excited about, the gift exchange. We all gathered in the living room again, this time a little more organized. Someone set up a camera to record the whole thing so we could look back on it later. Everyone sat in a big circle and we started the exchange. One by one, we revealed who we had picked and handed over the gifts. The rule was that the person receiving the gift had to open it immediately in front of everyone so we could all see their reaction. It was such a wholesome moment. Every gift felt so thoughtful, even though the budget was tiny. Some people gave toys, others gave notebooks, funny plushies of their face, snacks, or little gadgets that perfectly matched the personality of the person receiving them. It was obvious that even though we weren't spending a lot of money, everyone had put real thought into choosing their gift. The whole experience reminded me that sometimes the smallest gesture can carry the most meaning. Even though we weren't exchanging anything extravagant, the thoughtfulness behind each gift was what made the moment so special. It wasn't about the price tag or how fancy the wrapping was. It was about how well the gift matched the person's interest or brought a smile to their face. There was something so heartwarming about seeing a gift that was clearly chosen with care, even if it was something simple like a favorite snack or a quirky little trinket. It made me realize that the true value of a gift isn't in how much you spend, but in how much thought and love you put into choosing it. And for me, that was the most precious part of the whole experience. Watching each family member smile, laugh, and proudly show off what they got made my heart feel so full. It wasn't flashy or extravagant, but it was real. It was simple and meaningful, and somehow it made the whole Eid celebration feel even more special. There was so much happiness packed into that moment, it was impossible not to feel it. I honestly would love to do it again. It was such a fun activity and it added fresh new layer to our usual Eid tradition. But at the same time, part of me feels like this first time was just so perfect that it might never feel exactly the same again. Maybe that's just how it is with special moments. You can repeat the activity, but the feeling of the first time always stays a little more magical. Still, I'm glad we made it happen. And who knows, maybe next time someone else will come up with another random idea that turns into something unforgettable too.